You're a cunt, you dumb motherfuck, and you know that you're a cunthole. I can't stand your guts, you stupid fuck. Go to hell, stick your finger up your asshole. Your asshole. I can't stand your guts, you dumb motherfuck. You're just so fucking stupid. I can't deal with the fact that you're a cunt, you fucking cunt face. Cunthole. I think you're a bitch, you stupid cunt. Go to fucking hell. Don't come back, you fucking bitch, 'cause I think you're a fucking hole. Fucking hole. I think you're a bitch, you stupid fuck. I don't wanna know your name. I hate your face, you fucking cunt. As ugly as a fucking ass crack. I can't stand your face, you fucking bitch. Can't stand your face. Fuck your mother in her ass. Punch her in her pussy.
But I prefer Madonna in a lacy thong. And I'm a lesbian, I don't like...
Hello, you are listening to show number 50 of the Lesbian Mafia. I'm your host, Sandi. Hi, hello. This is the 2-year anniversary of this program, and for the past 2 years, we have been bringing you what some might call entertainment. It's questionable, I know, but I'm very glad that you guys come back and tune into this show and make it very popular. Really not in the business of bragging, but in the first year that we started this program, it went into the #1 category in the Podomatic page, and now it's regularly on the front page of the entire directory with tens of thousands of other programs. And on a much larger scale, it quickly climbed up the ranks into the first couple of pages in the comedy section of the iTunes directory, with other corporately financed programs like Sarah Silverman and Ellen DeGeneres' podcasts and other very largely funded programs. And there are other podcasts up there that are really great, but they are shows that post daily. This show I post every 2 or 3 weeks, and it still manages to stay up there in ranks, which means that you guys are coming back and downloading, and you're going through the older shows and downloading older shows when there aren't new posts. So it is that has kept this show visible in these categories so that other people can find the show, and it perpetuates itself. It keeps itself there. Being up there, it gets you more listeners, and more listeners gets you to be up there, and so that's the way it works. But in the past 2 years, the show has been picked up by 3 internet radio stations, and I've mentioned this before, but they were all heterosexual, and for whatever that means, thank you. I really appreciate the support from Radio Dentata, Reapso Radio, and No Saints Media. And so this show is going to be different. It's not going to be the same thing as the other program. It's not going to be as jovial and jokey. But so what I'm going to do is just briefly talk about the past 2 years, and then I'm going to play a lot of your voicemails that have come in over the past few days. And I don't know if you've noticed, but I posted a show right before this, which was show number 49. It's just about an hour long of calls from you guys. So if you have called in, you may want to tune into that and listen. It won't be for everybody. It's just a lot of calls and some of my commentary as the calls come in. So that's 49. And on this program, I'll just talk a little bit. And then next week, I'll post a regular show. So the past 2 years have been really crazy. I can't believe that this program has gone where it's gone. I started this program 2 years ago when I was coming out of a very dark and heavy time of my life, and it's not silly stuff like a breakup or anything silly like that. It was very serious things that were happening in my life that I would not wish on an enemy. But, I came here to get away from all the seriousness that was happening in my life, to reconnect and laugh, So it was serving me as well as serving the listener. So this show does mean a lot to me. I started with, maybe 4, 5, 6 girls at a time in one show, and I would get a bunch of calls, and the calls were very short, but there was a bunch of them. And then after a year, I decided to kind of shave it off a little, have fewer regular calls, and maybe have the conversations be a little bit more lengthy, questionably more meaningful. But and so this year, I don't know what I'm going to do. I just like to kind of change it up just a little, so that I don't get bored. And so one of the trademarks of this show has been the prank phone calls. And I know that you guys like them, so I'm going to try to pepper them a little bit more often in this coming year, because I kind of slacked on them in the past year. But I know you guys like them, so I'll try to get to them a little more frequently. And the first show was the bisexual show. And I talk a lot about that program because I get a lot of feedback on it. And I usually talk about the negative feedback because I just think it makes for a better conversation. It's just, I don't know, it's just funnier to talk about a negative feedback that I might get here or there, but I make a big mistake by neglecting to mention all of the beautiful emails that I get from you guys. I mean, I get, and again, I'm not trying to be braggadocious or anything. I get hundreds of emails every week, and those messages are the fuel to the fire that keeps me motivated to continue to do this program, because you can get lazy if you don't have a boss on top of you telling you, oh, you have to do this, you have to do that. But your messages when you reach out and connect are really very meaningful, and they don't go unnoticed. I may miss some of them and not be able to answer every single one of them, but I read every email that comes through. And I just want to mention that if you have sent an email and it's important and you need me to get back to you, send it again, because there's a lot of emails, and I'm the one that handles everything. So I just wanted to put that out there. But so that has been a continual theme, is the very first program, which I listen to it now, and I actually can't stand that show because I don't like it anymore. I don't know. And I get messages from bisexual women telling me, Sandi, you're right. I don't know what I want. I feel crazy. Help me, and they ask for, so, it's not all what I make it seem necessarily. I do like to make things funnier. So, and so, two of you lovely people have gotten tattoos, and I just got an email from Carly, who said she's getting another tattoo in her arm with the Lesbian Mafia on her arm, and I don't have any tattoos. I've never gotten any tattoo, and I'm thinking of getting one. The Lesbian Mafia. But anyway, so this, honestly, I have to say that this has been a pretty hard year if you're in talk, because it's no secret that I hold radically different political viewpoints than about 80% of my community. And one thing is that I would say a majority of the listeners of this program have allowed me to be who I am, to speak my mind, and have respected me and whoever has been on the show with me, and still supporting this program, even though they may hold very, very different opinions. And to me, I feel very lucky, because I know a lot of people who are in talk, and they're afraid to say anything because it's been a really crazy season. So, I've gotten message from some of you guys that are like, Sandi, I love your show, I love what you do, and even the parts that I don't prefer get my respect. And, that feels really good. It really does. Because, you may not want to hear some stuff that may come out of my mouth. Same ways I've had to listen to other people talk about stuff that I'm just like, oh, God, like you roll your eyes, right? But, I think the common goal is that we all want to get to the same place. We may have different vehicles of getting there, and politics is the divisive vehicle, but I think ultimately we all know that we all want to get to the same place. So I really appreciate the love and support. I know that some people have dropped off because they can't hear a possibly different viewpoint other than their own, because they find it threatening. They just need constant reassurance that they're right. There's people like that. And quite honestly, those are listeners that you don't want, because they're a pain in the ass, because they write in for everything. And quite honestly, I'm, obviously a huge supporter of freedom of speech, because that's what we do here. But there is such thing as irresponsible speech, and I'm very aware of that. And so it's one thing if someone is being irresponsible on the airwaves, and for you to drop them a line and say, hey, that's, you're being a fucking bonehead. That's one thing. But when it comes to a matter of a difference of opinion, especially with political stuff, I mean, that's like, you have to be a real douche to want to harass someone